Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
All right, we're back. Steiny and Guru.
Guys.
And let's welcome in Dan Dibley and Mark Willard.
The
from
Blues Brothers. You see them?
Fremont Bank in Fremont, where Guru and I are going to join these guys in a couple hours. What's up, gents?
What up, baby?
Yeah.
You better bring your shades.
Yeah, put your stunner shades on.
It's pretty good looking out here right
Man,
now. It's
I
a
can't
pretty
wait.
good scene, and once it fills up, oh my goodness.
Let's go, baby.
Today's going to be a day.
Yeah.
Today's going to be a day. How you guys doing? I missed y'all.
Yeah, I miss you too. I can't wait. And would I be wrong? Because I've been yearning to talk to you two. We've been talking Warriors. We're going to do it at the Summit. You guys got Michael Thompson on at 3.
Yep.
Can I just slip in something that's on my heart right now, baseball related?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
The Giants, hey, is the record what you want? No. But the fact that Elliot Ramos is an all-star along with Logan Webb, but this is more about Ramos, I believe that's a big-ass deal.
Of course it's a big-ass
Okay.
deal.
All right.
Absolutely it's a big-ass deal.
I can't believe it.
You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of, I don't know, from my perspective, and we talked about this a number of weeks ago, when we started yelling Vamos Ramos and everything. Like, this is the guy that we've supposedly been waiting for. It just didn't come in the package that we thought. You know, we tried does the slipper fit on a few other people? Matos this year, Schmidt last year, and then also I think there are people who are sort of into the way it came about. Like, they wanted the Giants to see this coming.
Right.
You called him up early and you put all your chips. Like, Ramos has been down there for a little while.
Yes.
But at the end, I'm with you, man. Like, who cares? Who cares when the slipper fits? When you find the right person, who cares how you found him?
Divers, they hit on one right now. It looks well, man. Again, they're not dead. It's not what you want, but for him, your youngster, to go up, down, and now be an all-star, you got to take the wins when you can.
Absolutely, and you take the wins in this category because you're not taking the wins on the field, sadly. So, I mean, you take the wins where you can get them, but the first homegrown outfielder since Chili Davis to be an all-star.
Wow.
And, all of us, sadly, are old enough to remember Chili Davis.
Yeah.
Actually, he was a Giant even before Steiny was out here in California, and Steiny's been out here quietly for 30-plus years. So it just tells you how long it's been since the Giants have actually gotten it right in the outfield. So good for Ramos, and quietly good for Farhan Zaidi, who he didn't draft him, but he does get credit for the development.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in how Mark Willard's feeling about the trade of Austin Slater.
Yeah. Slates.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, first of all,
Alex Young's good.
I hate that Slater got talked about the way he got talked about this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are on, Timmy, just so you know. Anyway, I hate that he got talked about the way that he did. He was a good Giant for a long time. He supported San Francisco over and over and over again. He lived in San Francisco. When that subject was a big deal about free agents not wanting to come here, he was one of the most outspoken guys in support of it. So did he play well this year? No, he did not. But if you look at his numbers and you want to go back in time, I don't know why everybody erased the last 7 years as if he sucked. He didn't. He was a really good Giant. He owned Clayton Kershaw. You know what I mean? Like, this guy did some really good things in a Giant uniform, but it's time. It's probably time. Like, he's a free agent at the end of the year and was not somebody that the Giants are going to put any stock into. So that's the biggest reason you trade him.
Yeah.
Because now you've got Jung-Hoo Lee coming back. Ramos has developed. You want a runway for Matos. And then there's still others that are in the mix, Yaz and others and whatnot. So I think that's the reason they did it, but it also signifies it means Matos isn't going anywhere for the rest of the year, and I think that's probably the right call too, right?
And I'm the guy, and I owe Slater an apology, because when he was out, he was the poster child of, you're in the way of what we don't know about all these youngsters at the time, and that wasn't fair to Slater. Like you said, you just ran down his resume, but that's what he represented to me, was like, you're in the way. see. We know what you can do. We want to see from the youngsters. And right now, again, Ramos is doing his thing. Chili Davis, Dibs, the last homegrown Giant outfielder to hit 30 bombs. That's too long of a damn stretch.
Yeah, way too long, and it just is kind of a sad statement. And the whole thing about a different left fielder every single year as a starting left fielder, Connor Joe among them, and yet here you are, and you feel like going forward, maybe not yet this year, but next year when you've got Matos and Ramos and Jung-Hoo Lee, it feels like maybe you have an outfield that you can pencil in or you can pen in for the majority of games for the next 3 or 4 years. That's exciting.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is, Dibs.
You sound excited.
Absolutely.
He's excited about his 84 yesterday, Dibs.
Yeah. I played with him.
Excuse me.
Do you want to know?
Solid round.
I knew that you played well because here at Fremont Bank, there's 2 reasons. First of all, there's a big screen TV up here with your beautiful mugs on YouTube.
Oh, boy.
And we're looking at it, and the lovely Christy's here. And the first thing she said, she looks up at the screen. She goes, "Oh, Steiny looks good." And I said, "Oh, what'd he shoot? What'd he shoot?" Because I don't know anybody, and I know a lot of people who play golf. I've never seen anybody tie their self-worth to their most recent round more than Matt Steinmetz.
Yeah.
And so when you got that look on your face, I was like, oh, that's 85 or better for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
No, you're right, and I'm trying to take more pleasure out of being a good father and things like that, but it's just not working.
You're a good man. You're a good man even when you shoot 88. I want you to know that.
Well,
I do. I want you to know that about yourself. You can shoot 91.
Well, I will this weekend. I know that.
You're still a good man.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, buddy.
Thank you very much. Anything Klay Thompson related from over the weekend that struck you? Well, I'm sure we're going to get into it all at 4:00, but I'll get the ball rolling asking you that.
Well, we'll get it rolling, obviously, even earlier. As you guys mentioned, his dad is going to come on here in an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's now ready and willing to speak freely. I remember when he came on our show 2.5 months ago and stated, "No, I don't know what's going on with free agency. Me and my son don't talk about that." And I remember that day very clearly because that was the first day I was like, oh, Klay's leaving for sure, because I know they talk about it. I know they talk about it every day. And so the fact that he didn't want to talk about it told me that things were not getting any better. This is one of those clear things where it's like, we all get now. We've read the story, Anthony Slater, Ramona Shelburne. We've lived this. We know why it went south. But if you do stop now and just look back at the numbers, for example, 5 years and $43 million every one of those years for 178 basketball games. That's what the Warriors got out of their 5-year max commitment. 178 basketball games, and a few of them were at half speed. And so I look at this and I go, what exactly is it that Klay was so mad about? Like, I get it. This is a huge ego business. Go back to when he wasn't named top 75 in NBA history. He was number 77, and he took massive offense to it. I wonder if the Warriors ended up in a spot with a guy who just simply is a little bit too sensitive for his own good. I don't know if he really, really had all the reasons to be as mad as he was, but he was. And it may end up being the best for both parties that he now plays for the Dallas Mavericks.
I mean, and I think the reason, if you're asking for a reason, who knows? But I actually think it had to be because he's upset about the 2 injuries. That would make me. It might make me bitter. I mean, it's not his fault, but. That impacted his career in a big way, and I think he's still struggling with it to this day, even though there's nobody to point a finger at.
And I wonder if it's the 2 injuries or the 2 contracts that bothered him more. And by the 2 contracts, I would mean the Jordan Poole and the Andrew Wiggins, guys who got the bag, and Clay didn't get the bag because he wasn't eligible for it, and Draymond got $100 million. So is it the injuries that bothered Clay? And I know the injuries were a huge thing, and he missed 941 days, and he finally made it back. And when he did make it back last year, he was more durable and more available than anybody on the team outside of maybe Kevon Looney, who only missed games because Steve Kerr decided not to play him. But if you're Clay, are you more offended by the contracts or more offended by the injuries? Because I look at, what happened off the court with Wiggins and with Jordan Poole. And if I'm Klay Thompson, I'm thinking, okay, Draymond got his and Andrew, and I know, Goo, we never count somebody else's pockets and all that, but you're definitely aware of what's going on around you.
No doubt. And you know what? I'm going to go with my anniversary coming up, for better or worse, or sickness and health. And if something were to happen to your spouse, you don't remind them, hey, I could have left, but I'm going to support you in this manner, like the Warriors did and paid Klay Thompson his money. I'm going to save this for the summit. I call them my bullets, but I am turned off that I fell in love with this Warrior culture, and we find out two of the prominent members of the Big Three, after they win a chip, went disease of me on two guys that got rewarded. Yeah, did they get rewarded too soon? But I thought stewards of the game like Dre and Klay would be happy for Wiggins and Poole, but we find out they were like, nah, that's my chicken. And Willard, you could call me naivete, but that hurts me because I thought the Dub Nation and the Warrior culture was different. And when these nuggets fall out, it hurts.
Feel you, but at the same time, you're going to have a hard time if you're trying to remove the ego from the NBA as a fan. Like you're just not going to do it. That's who these people are. It's how they got to where they got. Like I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You have to be maniacal about yourself to be this successful in sports. You have to have such a me attitude. You have to sacrifice other things. You have to sacrifice other people in order to achieve what they achieve. So I get it, but there is collateral damage, and I think that's what you're talking about here. And Steiny, when you talk about the injuries, I think it's a really good point, because it's not that he's offended by the injuries, but what happens is those injuries get viewed by two different lenses. Here's Klay's view of the injury. I lost my legs for you and worked my way back. That deserves some acknowledgement. And the Warriors go, we gave you $218 million to play 178 games. That's a bad investment. And both are right. And to me, that's the end of why it ended up the way it did. That's the way those two view that contract.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. All right, guys, we are headed out to see you. Michael Thompson at 3.
Tell Christy I'm on the lovely Christy. I'm on my way, Willard.
Yeah.
She's waving at you. She's waving at you.
All right, bud.
All right.
Yeah.